Welcome back to episode 101 of the Purple Rain podcast. Feels good. Has a nice little ring to it. You know, the 101.
Yeah.
Can't really dedicate this to any player right now.
Not yet.
But we can dedicate it, like the joke you made before we went live, Ravens 101. Because there is a lot of stuff we got to talk about. A new re-signing we got to talk about that has some people up in arms over it. Yeah. Oh boy, saw a lot about that. And got a new friend. Actually, not a friend. Bad way to talk about it. A new enemy in the AFC North now. A lot to talk about. Trades galore, NFL free agency. But first and foremost, like we always do it, follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast, like our boy Dylan did, who won himself a new Ravens jersey.
Congrats to Dylan. His jersey is on the way.
Yeah. I mean, gotta love it. And you can follow this guy over here at Sutton Def on Instagram and on Twitter. You know it. You can find me on Instagram at simplyas10.prod and on Twitter at simplyas10. And boy, oh boy, it's just gonna be a crazy offseason. I've kind of just accepted that. I think every day a big move has happened. And like I'm not trying to be funny. Every day there's been a significant player on the move. And it's just a lot going on right now. It's a lot for all of us to take in. But your thoughts on all of this?
Yeah, man. First and foremost, big shout out to everybody who is watching in the live chat right now. Episode 101 of the Purple Rain podcast, man. That is another huge milestone. We had a huge milestone last week on episode 100. If you haven't seen that video, go back and check it out because that was a good one. That was a really good one. Very fun. But yeah, this is episode 101 of PRP. Thank you guys so much for coming out to this video. If you're not part of the live stream right now and you're part of the hashtag replay gang, thank you so much. Go ahead and like this video, guys. Go ahead and like the video. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way early. We're only about 3 minutes into the video. Just go ahead and like it now. You know the likes help us out a ton. So if you could do that, that would be greatly appreciated. And again, man, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of the Purple Rain podcast. Let's go ahead and pull up some people that we have here in the live chat. We got my guy K-Dog. Mod K-Dog says, yo, what's good, Rain Gang family? Always in here, always supporting. We thank you so much, man. J Prime 235 in the building says, what's going on, J Prime? Black Daniels in the building. Black Daniels, my guy. This is my guy.
And the tweet that you sent to us after the show last week. Thank you so much.
Right. Like it meant a lot. It meant a lot, honestly. Like, shout out to Black Daniels, man. Thank you so much for joining. Kimberly Harmon in the building says, hey, Rain Gang. What's going on, Kimberly? How you doing? Mod Boz in the building. Yo, Rain Gang. What's going on, Boz? My guy. What's going on? Jabari Cruz Ellis, the one and only, says, what's up, Purple Rain Gang? What's going on, Jabari? Yolanda in the house. What's going on, Yolanda?
Per usual.
The Pointful. Dylan, our guy Dylan, the jersey winner. Like I said, Dylan, your jersey is on the way. And Dylan told me that he already had a Lamar Jackson jersey.
Okay.
He said he already had one. So guess who he chose?
Oh, who did he choose? Who?
None other than our guy, a friend of the show, Patrick Queen. Patrick Queen.
What color?
EQ.
What color?
I want to say it was the black one he chose.
I got
it
the
was
same one, bro. Got the same exact one. So I
love that. Oh my goodness, man. Shout out to Dylan Paul, man. Like, we appreciate you, man. Let's see who else we got. We got Raven Ron in the building, says, what up, PRP? I hope Ricard deal was cheap. We need to get JC Treader. We need a center. Yeah, we're gonna get into all the logistics, man. We're gonna talk about what other free agents we want us to sign, so make sure you stick around for this episode. Black Daniel says, smash that like button, or smack that like button. Yeah, absolutely, man. Appreciate it, man. Ravens Online Gatekeeper says, what's up, fellas? What's going on? JTV in the house says, yo, Rain Gang, what's going on, man? I see Lisa Frankel in the house. I see Savigs. I see Don C pulling up, says, what's up, Alex and Sutton? PRP. What's going on, man? We appreciate you for coming through to episode 101 of the Purple Rain podcast. Guys, we got a lot of stuff to get into on this episode, so kick back, relax, and let's go ahead and get started with some. Oh yeah, what do you got there? Is that the cacti?
Yeah, I'll be honest.
Ooh,
I've had this. I don't know how long it's been, but it doesn't taste good.
it doesn't.
I am
Ooh.
battling a little bit of a sore throat right now too. Probably
Oh,
isn't the
okay.
best to be rocking with it, but yeah. I was like, you
Yeah.
know what? Why not? Let's just.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day here in Maryland. I mean, nice weather. And we're getting into that spring weather. All right, spring
Yeah.
weather. It's
Mm,
staying lighter outside longer.
I love
I'm in a
it.
good mood. I don't know about
Yeah.
you. It's hard
Yeah.
to
I
bring
mean,
it down.
me too. I mean, the time we're recording this right now, I mean, for most of us, it's still light outside. It's still sunny. So it's like,
Yeah.
be happy, put a smile on your face. Like I say, kick back, relax. Let's go ahead and get into some Ravens news.
Yes.
So first and foremost, guys, this is Monday, March the, what is it? 21st.
21st.
March the 21st. And today we found out that the Ravens actually re-signed Patrick Ricard, our
Mm-hmm.
fullback.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand the numbers just came out probably about an hour before we went live. Alex, are you aware of those numbers?
Yes, it's 3 years for 11.75 million.
Okay.
Team
3
friendly,
years. Team
I think.
friendly. Yeah. Yeah. Now, as we always do in the free agency,
Mm-hmm.
we got to give it a grade, like it, love it, or hate it. Alex,
Yep.
what say you?
I woke up, I was like, ugh. But as it came, when I thought about it, I'm like, I like it. I mean, I'm not gonna say I hate it. I'm not gonna say I love it. I
Mm,
mean, I like it. I mean, having him, blocking, I love it. Now, what I do hate is, when he's thrown out there in the receiving, when there is some people that he is playing over, i.e. number 12 Rashad Bateman or number 11 James Prochet. I'm not cool with that, but strictly running, and even when we were pretty bad at the line last year, he could line up as an extra offensive lineman and help us block. If we play him like a fullback, and don't let him and just don't get too crazy with them, then I could love it. But right now I like it. I mean, the money isn't bad. I
yeah.
definitely think fans wanted something different, and I can't blame them. I really can't blame them. But I get it.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say that. Well, I can say that I like it, but I'm kind of on the fence about being one step below liking it. So,
I
so
got you.
not liking it basically, and basically, I have that reasoning because this simple question: why did we sign Ben Mason? Why did
I
we go through the
Yeah.
trouble of drafting him, cutting him, and then re-signing him? I don't get that. If we were just gonna re-sign Pat Ricard all along, I don't understand that. I don't.
It doesn't make any sense. This front office isn't making sense right now.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna call it what it is.
I
like
mean, cause like that's just how I'm feeling. It's like I feel like we got Ben Mason to replicate the things that Pat Ricard can do because
wasted a
at
draft
this
pick.
right wasted a draft pick exactly, and that's something that's been happening one too many times over the past couple of years, and I can't it cannot keep happening. This year we have what 9 picks in the first 4 rounds.
And I mean, I'm still on the trade of F them picks, and you can trade up for somebody or trade for a player. I would have loved to see us trade up into the second round last year and get Creed Humphrey. Just gonna be honest.
So I mean, you're saying F the picks, trade up. I don't say F the picks. I say get the picks right. Because
Hey,
like I say all the time,
we've
like I
missed a
say,
lot.
I
We've
know,
missed.
I know, Alex. But what I say all the time, you're only as good as your cheap talent, your cheap
Yeah.
labor. Like you have to hit in the draft. The best teams, that's what they do. It's either you're going all out and you're spending all your money on these 1 year, 2 year deals on these really really high talented players, or you're going out and you're stockpiling draft picks and you're hitting on those draft picks.
Hmm.
That's the only two ways to really have success in this league. Before I get too fired up, we do have a couple super chat donations coming through here
Okay.
in the house. First one coming from Oscar
Oh,
Lilienthal.
thank
Thank
you,
you
Oscar.
so much,
Thank
Oscar,
you.
for
Thank
making it rain here on episode 101 of PRP. Says, where will backup Mayfield
you.
go in commercials only? Backup Mayfield. Yeah, Baker Mayfield, obviously, you know the news. You guys know the news. Baker is on his way out of Cleveland because Deshaun Watson is now in Cleveland, which we will get to a little bit later. But where will Baker Mayfield go? I mean, he wanted to go to the Colts. That doesn't seem like it's gonna happen either.
Definitely not.
Again, more news we'll get into later. But at this point, where will he go? I mean, is it the Seahawks? Is it the Saints? Like, what's gonna happen?
I don't think the Saints anymore. I think it's between the Seahawks and That's about it. Unless somebody else, you know what? I'll go Seahawks or maybe the Buccaneers.
The Bucks? No way.
Listen,
No
I
way.
know, but you can back up Brady, and then you never know. But that's really all I can think of. That's the only thing is backing up Brady.
Baker is not going anywhere to back up anybody.
I know, but
That's not happening.
I just
Honestly, you might as well just like move him laterally and send him to the Lions. Like that's my resolution to that. Like move him laterally. I feel like there's really no movement, no upward movement from going from Cleveland Browns to the Detroit Lions. Yes, the Browns have a more talented roster, but look at where it's got them. It's really gotten them next to nowhere. Yes, they had some success.
Their receivers.
Right, exactly. Yes, they had some success a year or two ago in the playoffs, that sort of thing. They had a playoff win, but it's really never amounted to anything too serious. Not even consistent regular season success.
Yeah.
So I don't know, dude. I really don't know. It's just.
I think Seahawks is the only way he'll be a starter. That's the only way. I mean, Lions, Goff has a huge contract. Baker has that 5th year. I genuinely don't know, but
Yeah.
it's not looking good for him. I honestly thought he was going to get traded to the Texans because, I mean, Davis Mills. I think Baker can beat him out. That's not saying a lot. That's not saying a lot, but that would make sense. At all. Right. If they would have traded him to Houston, it probably would have saved them a pick or two. Not sure about that, but that's what they did. We'll get into that later, but
yeah.
If he's going to start, the only place I can say is Seattle because he would start over Drew Lock and Geno Smith.
Fair enough. We do have a couple more Super Chat donations to get into. This one coming from Yolanda.
Oh, thank you.
Yolanda, thank you so much. We appreciate you for making it rain, making it thunderstorm here on episode 101 of the Purple Rain podcast. Thank you so much, Yolanda. Yes. Always supporting, always coming through, always commenting. We appreciate you so much.
Giving some great insight.
Absolutely, sis. I'm fine with the Project Pat re-signing, but what do you think the plan is to address the O-line and pass rush? Not to mention, we need a center. Yes. We have work to do.
This is the very uncomfortable conversation I think people are not ready to have, and I think we're about to have it, if that's cool. I think this is time. Yeah. Let's just be honest. With our edge, what's there right now besides Owe?
I mean, you got Justin Houston, who we could re-sign. Justin Houston did not have a bad year.
Yeah, he didn't.
He didn't have a bad year. He had moments where, like, he was. I don't want to say like a deciding factor, but he had some moments where it was. He
played his contract out.
Yeah,
like he was worth this over like $3 to $4 mil. He was worth that. But now it's like we've lacked that game changer in an edge. You know, it's like, and I kind of want to get younger, but also, I mean, I wouldn't mind getting Houston and somebody else. You know,
for me, I would personally rather get younger, and here's why.
Yeah, so would I.
Here's why. I think that going younger at this point will definitely be more beneficial to us because one, it'll save money for other areas that we need to sign, you know, other positions, things like that. And also, we really don't know. I'm sorry, what this pass rush will look like under Mike McDonald. We don't.
Agreed.
For the past couple of years, it's been under Wink Martindale, and we know what he likes to do. He loves to blitz. We know his scheme, you know, and it didn't really amount to a lot of sacks. Like we were bottom half of the bottom half of the league.
An outside linebacker was our leading sack.
Right.
In sacks.
Yeah. Like for the past couple of years, it's been that way. So I would rather go young in the draft just to see how this coach who's just coming out of, you know, coaching Michigan, having an Aiden Hutchinson who, you know, had a career year, David Ojabo also on that Michigan defense. I want to see what he can do with young talent because it's obvious with young talent he does pretty well. So I would rather go ahead and draft edge and then spend more money on something like offensive line.
I am so happy you brought up spending money on offensive line because let's just look at, you know, once again, it's uncomfortable conversation. Look at where our money has been spent. We spent 5 years, $70 million on a safety.
Yeah, that's hefty.
We went 3 years, 15 for our starting right tackle.
Yeah.
There's still a center out there that would easily contribute to this team that we haven't sent an offer to that we know of yet. There's still receivers out there that could help this team, that could help this offense, that could help Lamar take that next step that we haven't, done.
Yeah.
Why are we putting all this just funding into the defense? I'm not going to say defund, listen, but it's like, can you keep that same energy with the offense though?
Right. It needs to be balanced.
Exactly, and it's like what we talked about. Like the defense didn't play bad with Mozzie Wilkins, these practice squad. It didn't play bad at points, but we were never going to make the playoffs with them. It's like the offense, even with the backup, like they're still missing pieces that I think we haven't just talked about it. Like I want to see that big money signing on the offense, and it hasn't been there, and it hasn't been there for years. I mean, when was the last time that we made a big money signing on the offense?
Ooh, I mean,
Stanley, his extension, but I'm talking about like maybe in free agency.
Like a free agency signing. Like honestly.
Ingram was 3 years, 15 mil. That was
I was gonna refer to that, but that was how many years ago? 3 years ago.
That was 2019.
And exactly. Like, and look where he's at. I mean, obviously he was an older player to begin with, but we haven't really done anything else since that. So I think that's a really good point. The Ravens do spend a lot of money on their defense. They really don't invest in the offense at all. They draft offense, pay money for defense. That's like their philosophy. It seems like.
Can you bring up Dylan's comment real quick? Our last big money free agent offensive player.
Yes.
I think that's correct. I think that's the last one.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I am going to pull up the super chat donations first and foremost.
Okay. Oh, you're good.
Yeah. So we got a couple super chat donations. This one's coming from Avase. Thank you so much for making it rain here. Episode 101 of PRP. Make sure you guys go ahead and like the video. Leave a thumbs up right here, right now. If you are listening, if you're watching, leave a like on the video. We'd appreciate it so much. We got about 63 people or so watching right now. Thank you guys. We appreciate it. And if you're part of the hashtag replay gang, make sure you like the video as well, man, because we love you guys so much. Jeez. We love you guys. All right. So, yeah, Avase leaves that. And he also leaves another as well with a question attached that says, do you think we grab a DB in the first round and move Marlon to the nickel? I don't think that we grab a DB in the first round.
The way that it's looking now, I don't think so. I mean, if we got Zadarius Smith, maybe you can make that argument. But right now, with these holes, I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't see defensive back being the Ravens' number one priority in the draft. Like I said, I think that they'll go the Ravens pick. The Ravens-like pick would be center. You know what I mean? Maybe depending on who's there, maybe edge, which I wouldn't be mad at. But
be a lineman.
Could be a lineman,
left tackle and guard.
Right.
Never know.
Exactly. But it could be a defensive tackle. Who knows? We know they want to get younger there too. But we'll see. I don't think it'll be a DB. I don't think that's in the Ravens' top 2 or 3 positions of need, especially after signing a Marcus Williams. Yeah. But yeah, let's go ahead. We have one more super chat donation before we get to our guy Dylan's comment. Says, big homies, what's going on, man? Twisted Purple Bird, thank you so much for making it rain here on this episode of PRP. All right, so you wanted to get into our guy Dylan's comment. Let's see. Last big money free agent offensive player, Steve Smith, probably
2014. It was 8 years ago. I mean, if there's somebody else, you can let me know. But 2014, that's insane. And, I just want us to sign that player that can help this team out 100%. Like a JC Treader. You're trying to tell me right now that if you sign him, he's an immediate upgrade over what we have. And it allows Makari to be our 6th lineman, which is really, really good to have.
Yeah.
So I just want them to keep that energy that they have with the defense and just slide it over to the offense, because as we've seen, it's become a more of an offensive league. I mean, look at the offenses in this division. So that's what I was trying to get at.
Right. Yeah, I mean, overall, though, just kind of getting back to the original point that we were talking about, or the original topic that we were talking about, the Patrick Ricard re-signing, the money they put into him. After that is all said and done, the Ravens have around roughly $6.5 million left in cap space to spend this year. And of course, the new league year started last week. So that's how much money we're working with at this time. Now, it is known, and everybody understands that the Ravens can absolutely make restructures to certain players' contracts to free up some cap space, cuts, things like that. There's moves that can be made in order to free up some more space. But working with what we have right now, say the Ravens don't make any moves, so we don't restructure Stanley, we don't restructure Marlon Humphrey, anything like that. Who would you like to see the Ravens go after with that $6.5 million in cap space left? Now, keep in mind, Alex, a lot of that $6.5 million, if not all of it, is going to have to go to the draft picks.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's 9 picks. So, I mean, I guess even with that being said, it makes it even harder to ask this question. So, I'm just gonna ask it like this: would you like to see the Ravens make any restructures, do things like that, in order to sign some more free agents and not just build out the rest of the roster through the draft?
1,000,000% yes. There, 100%. And the guys that are on the thumbnail, I would love for us to take a look at Danielle Hunter and then Jarvis Landry. And obviously, our number one, I want JC Treader. Like that should be number one on our. Just what we need and what we want is just a center because we don't have one right now. We have TCC who was undrafted, and we have Macari who just got paid. Treader was on that offensive line of the Browns that everybody was said it was a top 3, top 5. When the last time we had a top 3, top 5 line, we went 14-2.
Yeah,
it didn't matter who Lamar had a receiver when we had that line. He was making Seth Roberts look like amazing.
Yeah. We do have another super chat donation. This one coming in from our guy Savix. Thank you so much, Savix. Very loyal supporter here of the Purple Rain podcast. We appreciate you. Says we are going to draft Linderbaum. By the way, Baker to the Carolina Panthers.
Ooh, I could see it. Him and Darnold, 2 2018 first round picks.
Battling it out, right, for the starting job, because they would have a QB competition. It's not like it's no question or anything like that. And that would be pretty funny, especially if Sam Darnold beat him out. Carolina would definitely be looking themselves in the mirror, like, do we really want to do this? What's going on,
man?
Yeah, I know, right? Tough scene. But thank you so much, Savix. We appreciate you for your super chat donation. All right. So just kind of talking about more about the Ravens cap situation, the free agency signings, what they should do in the draft as of today. So that is March 21st, 2022. Let's talk about Lamar Jackson. Let's talk about if the Ravens are doing enough or everything that they can for Lamar Jackson's success. Alex, what do you think about that? Yes or no?
You're putting me on the spot.
I'm putting you on the spot. Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest. Right now, no, not protected. I mean, let's just look at the line last year when he got hurt. Left tackle, Villanueva. Left guard, Cleveland. Center, Bozeman. Right guard, Zeitler. Right tackle, Tyree Phillips. That's screenplay. That's screenplay. That screenplay in Cleveland. Tyree Phillips is running down the field, doesn't know where he's at. Lamar gets hit. I mean, so we're going to switch that right tackle. We're going to switch that with Moses. We don't have a center right now. Zeitler at right guard. Ben Cleveland at left guard. Who's at left tackle? Is it Ronnie Stanley healthy? Who's at left tackle? Because Villanueva isn't here anymore.
Think about this, Alex. I want to ask you this. Since Patrick Macari will no longer have to fill in at right tackle with an addition of Morgan Moses, would you mind him just filling in at that center position? Because we've seen him be there too before. You know what I mean? So would you mind that, or do you want to actually sign a legit center, or do you want to save the money and keep Macari?
I want to sign a legit center. That's what a team that is contending would do.
Gotcha.
1,000,000%. Like I said, Macari is there. I mean, he can play literally anywhere on the line, which is great. That's depth. That's what every great team has, depth. Look at the Rams. Odell gets hurt in the Super Bowl.
Right.
They had Kupp and they had somebody, I forget what his name was, behind him. And then Robert Woods got hurt. They had Odell. But I just definitely think you got to sign the center. You got to sign Treader. if you really want him to resign, Lamar to resign, like if I'm Lamar right now, it's like if I sign here for the next couple of years, who's to say I'm going to finish this contract out 100%?
Right.
It's like I've already was hurt last year. And then, yes, they did draft 2 receivers. I'm jealous of these teams that consistently stack up their offense. I mean, just the Rams, they didn't have to sign Allen Robinson.
Look at the Bengals, yeah.
They signed Hayden Hurst. And the the Bills right now just signed Jamison Crowder because they cut Cole Beasley. They don't need Jamison Crowder. They really don't. They have Isaiah McKenzie. They have Gabriel Davis. They have Stephon Diggs. They have a guy who put up 4 touchdowns in the divisional game.
Yeah.
And they still went out there and got Jamison Crowder, who is a good receiver that's going to make plays for them. What are we doing?
I like our guys. I like our guys too, but here's my question to you, Alex. You said that you would prefer us to, get a legitimate center. Let's not put Patrick McCarry there, where he's been able to be before. Jabari Cruz Ellis brings up this. He says, "Why the hell did we extend McCarry then? What are we going to use him for?"
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me left tackle. It really wouldn't surprise me
if Ronnie Stanley. So Ronnie Stanley insurance policy.
Yeah, I mean. Honestly, yes. It would not surprise me. Be prepared. Couldn't you see that happening, though? God. Couldn't you see him, who else is going to start left tackle if we don't draft somebody?
I mean, with 9 picks, I would hope we do draft the left tackle.
I hope so.
9 picks in the first 4 rounds, you bet your ass they're going to draft a left tackle. Because you can't just plug and play Patrick McCarry anywhere on that line and expect him to be, just a ball out player. Because if that was the case, he would not be in Baltimore right now. He would be somewhere else playing at some, he'd be an anchor at some certain position, but he's kind of like a jack of all trades right now. He's serviceable at a lot of positions, and that's valuable. Being serviceable at multiple positions is just as valuable as being really good at one position to me.
If something happens, somebody gets hurt for a couple of quarters for a game,
right?
They can come out. I mean, I'm cool. I'm cool with that. 1,000,000%. I'm cool with that.
Exactly. I think that kind of answers your question, Jabari Cruz Ellis. I think that's the reason why we extended McCarry, because he is able to move around.
The same reason we did with James Hurst. We did the same thing with Hurst a couple of years back. I remember that, and he could play literally anywhere on the line.
Yeah. We do have another super chat donation. This one coming in from Savigs again. Thank you so much, making it rain here on this episode of PRP, the Purple Rain podcast. Says, low key, I would trade Stanley. I'm over it. # hot take. Oh, trade Stanley? We can't. Not yet. We can't. Not yet. We haven't seen. Right.
The cap hit. Nobody will want to take that contract.
Right.
Nobody knows what they're going to get out of him.
Exactly. And we have not seen any sort of return on investment in Ronnie Stanley at all. Because if you guys remember, we paid him the year before last. And the week after we paid him, he got hurt, went down for the season. Against the Steelers. And then he played 1 game against the Raiders in week 1. And this past season kind of re-aggravated his injury. Never saw him again. Wasn't pretty, So we have not seen our return on investment on Ronnie Stanley at all yet, but we do know that Ronnie Stanley was once a Pro Bowl left tackle. So if he can get back to that point, then it would be worth it. But what are you going to say?
And can we go back to that week 1 game when Lamar had absolutely no protection and still put us in a chance to win the game? Put us in a chance to win. That was with the healthy Sammy Watkins, with Marquise Brown fully 100%, when Lamar was 100%. If you can have him 100%, even 90% by the end of the year, you're going to make the playoffs with him, because you saw he had literally no time and still put us in a position to win that game, which we should have won the game if the defense doesn't just collapse in the last 30-some seconds.
Exactly.
So just thinking about that, that's why I'm just as much as I really would love Jarvis Landry, give me J.C. Treader. Because if you can protect him,
I'm not going to lie to you, bro. I do not want Jarvis Landry, not even in the slightest bit. Not even in the slightest bit, dog. And it's just the main reason for that is just the fact that we have guys on our roster, like receivers, like pass catchers who can simulate what Jarvis Landry can do. And I look at a guy like a Rashad Bateman going into his second year, his second season. The chemistry, hopefully, in this offseason, him and Lamar Jackson build a chemistry where it's like when they get back on the field, come regular season next year, they are firing on all cylinders. And there's timing routes that are being hit. There's deep balls that are being hit. There's comeback routes, things like that. Like they're just on the same page. If we can get Lamar Jackson and Rashad Bateman on the same page, we are going to be talking about Rashad Bateman a lot more on this channel. I promise you. Next season. Like, I'm calling that right now. And the main reason that I say that is because we saw flashes of that even with Tyler Huntley under the helm last year. Like, Rashad Bateman is that dude. So any of you guys who are out here listening to this right now who are thinking that the Ravens should go ahead and pick up a wide receiver in the draft or free agency, just relax. Stand pat, guys. Like, we were having this exact same conversation last year. We were saying the Ravens have no wide receivers. Lamar has no weapons. They went out, they got a Sammy Watkins. We don't know what's going to happen with him. I assume if he does not come back, which I don't think he will, they might go out and get somebody else. They might go ahead and get another, veteran wide receiver. But I have faith in our guys, Rashad Bateman and Hollywood Brown, as long as Lamar Jackson has time to throw the football. Like, we have a solid receiving core. A lot of people, I feel like, don't understand that. There's many games.
We do.
Yeah. There's so many games last year that you can look at. And Alex, I know you can attest to this too, where you can remember times where the Ravens were in the heat of battle. We had to throw the ball to win. And every time Lamar Jackson would take the snap and drop back, he would be flushed out of the pocket because the tackles, there's edge rushers coming around the tackles like it's just nothing, So it's like he's got guys flying past his face, knowing that he's hot. Guys are behind him, all around him. He's got to try to step up, figure out whether he wants to throw, whether he wants to run. It's insane. You can't ask a fourth year quarterback to be able to do those sort of things with no offensive line. It all starts and finishes in the trenches. So I don't know, man. I don't think that we need to go wide receiver at all. Offense is built from the inside out, the inside being the offensive line, the outside being the receivers, the pass catchers. So, more offensive line, please.
So that's why I want Treader, but at the same time, like, we have a solid receiving core, but I think it can be better. And I think I look at the Bengals, they didn't have to draft Chase. They really didn't have to. I'm not saying that we have to get anybody first round, but I'm just saying that if Jarvis is there and if the price is right, hell yeah, I want him. Hell yeah, because that means Bateman or Hollywood will be single covered. That'll just make them better. I'm not saying that
they'll already be single covered though, because look at Mark Andrews. Like Mark Andrews is coming off the best season of his career.
In the biggest plays we had, we were throwing to him the 2-point conversions. That needs to change too, because I think that we saw enough of Bateman. I saw Hollywood when Lamar was under center. He was a top 10 receiver when Lamar was. I'm not saying he is now, but just the stats will prove it. Those first couple of games, first 8 games, when he was, and then when Bateman showed up with them, with the backups, there's no reason that when Lamar is there with a good line that we can. Now, like I said, if the price is right, I would definitely take him. But at the same time, it's like, do we trust the coaching? Do we really trust the coaching to put a Prochet Wallace and a Duvernay in the system to produce? And I don't.
Yeah. And that's another question. Man. I mean, I see some people talking about in the chat, like, none of this matters unless, Greg Roman is gone in the long run. Like, that's another thing. We haven't really been talking about coaching. And I've been saying this the past couple episodes. We have not been talking about coaching lately because it's free agency season. It's draft season. We're talking about players. But I mean, like you guys are saying, it doesn't matter who we bring in the building personnel-wise in terms of players. If the coaches cannot put them in the right positions, then none of it matters. None of it matters. It's not going to work out. So we definitely agree with you guys there.
And I thought last year, there was a point where I think we accepted that we weren't going to make the playoffs. And what some teams will do when they don't make the playoffs, they know their season's over, they'll experiment with things. Did we experiment at all with any of our receivers? Oh, we gave Tylan Wallace, a couple more looks? Oh, we gave Prochet some looks, and he was inactive. Yeah. Oh, there was a jet sweep for Duvernay, and that was basically it. We didn't even try anything new. Like, what was...
I mean, I think a lot of that is I don't want to say saltiness. That I feel like that's a little bit extreme. But you got to think, Alex. Like we were 8-3 at one point.
Oh
So
yeah,
like for us to go from 8-3 to 8-9, like I'm sure like they were trying to quote unquote fight to the end. They probably weren't trying to experiment too much because they felt like they still had a chance. We felt like the Ravens still had a chance pretty much all along up until that last week. Even going into the week, what 18, 17, 18, what it is now
there was
nowadays.
like the chance that if we
There
beat
was a
them and
slight chance,
somebody
a
else
very
lost and somebody else, yeah, it was.
exactly.
It just, and even with the 2-point play, like against the Packers, like I still think about that. Just go. Everybody knew we were going to Mark Andrews. You knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it. Everybody in this chat knew it. And just stuff like that, just really just it still hits me and just rubs me the wrong way. Because how do we know that will change? Will it change? I don't think it will. I think it's gonna be just a tight end just shouldn't be like, it's just unheard of in teams that wouldn't win a lot. The tight end. I mean, I didn't see CJ Uzomah carrying the Bengals. Hell,
Right.
the Rams starting tight end was out for the Super Bowl and they still won it. Like I want just incorporate our receivers more because that's what people pay more attention to. So
Right.
I'm just frustrated. I really am. Just thinking about it more and more.
Yeah. I think that I don't know. I think the coaching definitely needs to be addressed more with the Ravens. Like I feel like you look at like what won last year's Super Bowl. Yes, you can point to Cooper Kupp. Yes, you can point to Matthew Stafford, Aaron Donald, the Rams defense, but it's coaching. When it really comes down to it, like these guys, they know exactly what to do. They don't get flustered in certain situations, which we saw a lot of even in this past playoffs. We saw with the Bills coaches, they made vital, like crucial mistakes in the
Titans.
game.
The
Titans,
Titans for the
Bengals,
Ravens. They went for two for no reason, and that
yeah,
ultimately lost them the game.
yeah, yeah. And this is the season where players are getting signed to big contracts, rookies are being drafted. This is the season where nobody talks about coaching, but as you guys are saying, like there are some things that need to be addressed in the coaching department as well. Andrew Sakar says, "I hate our coaching, to be honest. I mean, it feels kind of stagnant. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. Under Harbaugh, it feels kind of stagnant. Now, this is not a shot towards John Harbaugh. I have great respect for the guy, but it feels like we really have not gone anywhere culturally in the past couple seasons. Like it just doesn't feel like we've really elevated to that next level, to that, oh, this is a Sean McVay Rams level team. This is a Shanahan 49ers, like, oh, they're always in it. We can talk about this team consistently. It just hasn't felt like that in the past few years.
This felt like a
Before,
joke. I'll
yeah,
say it
yeah,
like it's quirky that but we fought hard. We tried to the last second.
right. It's
I
like
mean,
that's not enough. It's not enough.
is that one going next to our other Lombardis that we have? Is that trophy going to go there too?
Exactly. Another super chat donation. This one coming in from Twisted Purple Bird again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Twisted.
Says Jarvis does bring attitude. I get he brings attitude, but he also takes away money. And like Alex said, if the deal is right, if the price is right, then fine, sure.
It's like
But
team friendly. It's like team friendly.
exactly, I just don't think that like especially with the type of offense that we have, it doesn't make sense for us to pay big money for wide receivers who are not going to be the focal point of our offense. It makes more sense for us to have cheap labor at the pass catching position who, can do a really good job. But we can invest other money that would be allocated to them, to the offensive line, to the defense, to,
Okay,
special teams.
and what you just said that this basically isn't a pass first team. Maybe that's a problem.
Mm,
Listen, maybe the fact that we everybody just expects to run like when we need to pass, maybe that's the problem. I mean, I
yeah.
just think that all these other teams that have that throw a lot. I mean, the Buccaneers when they won it, they had a really really good passing game, and oh my god, guess what? They had Leonard Fournette just turning it up. Like it's not this myth that you can't be good at both. And I think the Ravens have sold that dream to fans that, oh, well, expect their passing game to be average because we have a really, 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 really good running attack. No, they both can be good. Don't believe anything. Like they both can be good and they both should be good because we're a
Yeah.
professional football team. I think that's another problem too. Like, hell yeah, I want the running game to be great, and hell yeah, I want the passing game to be great too. I'm not asking for somebody to throw me $1 million. I think it's pretty rational. But.
Yeah, I mean, no, you're absolutely right. And like we've talked about multiple times on this podcast, I mean, the Ravens pride themselves on being a run first and defensive team.
We wear that like a badge of honor.
We do.
What is that?
We do.
What did that win? That won us the Super Bowl in 2000. Running did not win us in 2012. The run game didn't win us anything that Super Bowl. So to think that we still like,
it's a passing league. It's a passing league. It
is. Ray Rice didn't go off in the playoffs in 2012. It was Joe Flacco who took us, and just throwing the damn ball.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
Oh my gosh, it's giving a headache thinking about it.
Honestly, bro, me too. And like my big thing is that like with the Ravens, like I said, we are a run first team. We pride ourselves on defense. But the issue with that to me is that like when the Ravens drafted Lamar Jackson, let's just back up there. When the Ravens drafted Lamar Jackson, knowing that he was phenomenal rushing the football, knowing that he was good passing the football, now I think he's evolved into really good. Basically what I'm saying, I think Lamar Jackson is a very comfortable quarterback for the Ravens. They love to run the football. And when your quarterback can run, it's like, hey, that's even better. Match made in heaven. Exactly, Alex. So I think they're very comfortable with Lamar Jackson, knowing how electrifying he can be with his legs, knowing what they want to do running the football, knowing how many other options that opens up for them in the offensive playbook, knowing that they have that at their disposal. Yeah. They've gotten comfortable. They've gotten very, very comfortable, and they have not invested enough money like my guys from LBHT, who is in the house right here, as well too. Thank you guys so much for coming through.
Thank you.
Like they always say, defund the defense. I mean, like we don't totally subscribe to defund the defense, but we also subscribe to fund the offense just as much. Balance. It's all about balance. You know what I mean? Like, and when you have a franchise quarterback, right?
You can put money to the defense and put money to the offense too.
Right. The two. They're not mutually exclusive. Like they're not. So it's just like you have to put money into both sides of the football. And that's just kind of the whole point we're getting at here. But yeah, we rambled on about that a lot. We're going to go ahead and get into a few more pieces of news here. Let's go ahead and talk about Deshaun Watson. Watson going to the Browns in the AFC North, man. When I got this news, I'm going to give you my knee-jerk reaction. I was sick to my stomach. I really was. I tweeted about it. I was like, the Browns really got Deshaun. I was like, this is crazy. This is insane. Because it's like, listen. And I know what a bunch of Ravens fans were saying at that time, the righteous Ravens fans, the big homers, They were saying like, oh, the Ravens own Deshaun Watson. They've beaten him this amount of times. Look at the stats between Lamar and, Deshaun Watson in these games. And I'm just like, forget all of that. Like, Deshaun Watson is Deshaun Watson. He, without DeAndre Hopkins, still led the league in passing yards with the Texans. Like, he is nasty. He is a great quarterback.
Oh, he is nasty. He is nasty. He is, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well,
double meaning of that.
At the quarterback position.
Double meaning
at the quarterback position. Keyword quarterback position. Yeah. He's really good. So, I mean, with that being said, him being in the AFC North now, because it is what it is, even if he does get a suspension, whatever, at the end of the day, he will be in a Browns uniform, and we will have to suit up against him.
And you know what? The Browns were smart. They went and signed Jacoby Brissett behind him because they're anticipating it. And it's like, you know what? It's like, wow, it's like, y'all have a backup plan. Must be nice. I mean, they're expecting the worst. It just gets harder. It just simply, we just can't catch a break.
Yeah, dude. I mean, honestly, you go from Baker Mayfield and Joe Burrow to Joe Burrow and Deshaun Watson in our division. Like, that is a huge difference. Like, you got to think now. This is 4 times in a season. 4 times.
Yep.
So this is about a quarter of our season. A quarter of our season, we're going to have to be playing against Deshaun Watson and Joe Burrow, who was just in the Super Bowl and who just got a totally new offensive line gifted to him
And we have
by his front office.
Mm.
Exactly. So it's like, I don't know, man. I mean, the AFC North at this point, it's stacked. I don't know.
It's right behind the AFC West.
It's right behind there. Yeah. I mean, you got AFC West, I think, is undeniably number one in the conference right now in terms of talent, quarterbacks, things like that. But right behind them on their heels is the AFC North. I mean, we're talking Lamar Jackson. We're talking Deshaun Watson. We're talking Joe Burrow. We're talking
Mr. Trubisky.
Mr. Trubisky. We're talking Trubisky. But, yeah. We're talking Trubisky, but listen, they might get somebody. They might get somebody else. We don't know.
I love a defense. I'll give them that.
Wait, yeah. Miles Jack.
Could get Tyrann Mathieu. Mathieu and Fitzpatrick would be a hell of a duo. Hell of a tandem.
Mathieu. Look at us talking about defense. We're talking about quarterbacks. Mitchell Trubisky. I don't know what they plan on doing in the future. It just feels like this is kind of like a holdover type thing. Like, Trubisky for a year, and then we'll draft our guy. Whatever. I don't know. But looking at the quarterbacks in the AFC North, Alex, I want to go ahead and rank the quarterbacks in the AFC North. What is your 1 through 4 ranking?
I hate ranking because.
Well, too bad. You got to do it.
Because the homers they don't like it. Like, I'm just gonna be honest, there are quarterbacks better than Lamar Jackson. You can admit that and still be a fan. It's really not that hard.
Yeah.
It's not hard. But I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna talk about straight quarterback and the environment that is around them, okay? And the environment. And I think it's Burrow number one. If we're just talking about the environment they have that they have built around that quarterback that is putting him in the best position to win, it's him. I can't argue with that. He's gonna have a line now that he'll actually have time to be protected, and he'll just fling it up to his 3 quality receivers.
So I mean, are you saying basically, like, all things considered, Joe Burrow has a better, I guess, opportunity or position than Lamar Jackson? Is that what you're saying? Or are you saying he's more talented than Lamar Jackson?
I'm saying he's a better position, 100%. 100%. 100%. It's like, you can be a good quarterback, just have a really bad situation around you, i.e. Matt Stafford. I've owned up to it. I mean, look at it. When he had a team around him, look what he did. That could very well be Lamar Jackson in a couple of years. Or maybe next year. Maybe he leaves. Because the contract still hasn't been signed yet.
Jesus. Let's not talk about that. Oh, my God. Man. Yeah, I see some people agreeing with you in here. LBHT says, facts, Alex.
That's like the hardest pill I've had to swallow, is actually coming to the fact that he could leave. It sucks.
Like I said, man, I don't think that there's any quarterback in the AFC North that is better at football than Lamar Jackson.
I can agree with that.
I don't think so.
I can, because what I've seen him do when he's had that line, bro, putting up 5 touchdowns with nothing. I look at that Titans game. He put the team on his back.
Yeah.
The Bills game, he was making the throws and there was drops.
Out of Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Mitchell Trubisky, and Deshaun Watson, I would say hands down Lamar Jackson is the best football player. But what you're telling me is that Lamar Jackson is not the best quarterback out of those 4, no?
Not with who's around him. Not with that line. You're not going to see it. You're not going to see it. You give me a treader, you give me a left tackle, maybe Stanley's back, and hell yeah. If Stanley and Treader are on this line, I'm putting Lamar Jackson number 1. 1,000,000%.
Yeah. I feel it. And like I said, we will see what they do. Of course, we should be having Ronnie Stanley back at left tackle this season.
Exactly.
We don't know what we're going to do at center. We would hope to sign a JC Treader or maybe draft somebody, because at this point, of course, we know Bradley Bozeman is in Carolina, and we need a center. We are in the market for a center, so we will see exactly what happens there. So, now, I mean, me personally,
if my full rankings, if we're talking about just strictly let's put them all on the same team, same thing. Lamar,
Okay.
Watson, Burrow, Trubisky. 2 and 3 interchangeable. But with the season, I'm going to put Burrow above Watson because we have not seen him in over a year. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of outside noise coming in. But going in, I'm going to put Lamar, Burrow, Watson, Trubisky.
I'm putting Deshaun Watson over Joe Burrow, honestly. As much as I love Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson has been doing what Joe Burrow has done for like 3-4 years. You know, like he's been doing it on a consistent level with such a dysfunctional franchise.
And I'm going to go back. The only reason why I think about this, I saw the Houston Texans up 24-0 against the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah. I saw Deshaun Watson playing some dumb air guitar on the sideline, and guess what happened? The Chiefs put up 51 on them, and they lost. I know it's a team game.
Yeah.
But that right there is just stuck in my head ever since that game. Like, that just left it like, imagine the Ravens were celebrating up 24-0 away from home in the playoffs, and we came back and we lost. Like, that right there just.
I don't know. Let me see. Let's see. Bruh chimes in here, says, am I the only one who fully believes Watson is better than Lamar? Is he better at what exactly? Is he better at throwing the football than Lamar Jackson? These are the tough questions, the uncomfortable questions. Yeah. I would say yes. I would say Deshaun Watson is a better thrower of the football than Lamar Jackson. I would say when you take everything into account, Lamar Jackson is the better football player, and I would rather have him as my quarterback because he has more tools in the toolbox to get the job done.
And I think it's like how we've seen Lamar with DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think we ever will. It's like, exactly. Can you like there's just like, can you imagine Lamar with Chase, Higgins, and Boyd? It's just like, this is why the ranking is so tough and why I'm not a big fan of it. It's because like, then there's the eye tests. Because, you know, sometimes stats don't tell the stories and all that. It's like.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be expectations on Watson I don't think he really can put because the outside noise, maybe a suspension, all that, haven't played in a while. You never know. But.
Right. You never know.
It feels like I'm watching just WWE. It just feels so scripted right now. Like, there's so many storylines. It's like
there's a lot going on, dude. There's
so many. It's like Brady's back. Where's Gronk going? And there's that straggler Antonio Brown trying to just be relevant. You know, like.
Yeah. Let's see. Our guy Bruh says the overall package, man. He throws it better than Lamar, and he can really move with the football. So I have him slightly ahead of Lamar, and I feel like that's fair. I feel like that's fair.
Because you gave your reason.
That as well.
Exactly. You gave it, like, I'm never gonna argue with somebody's stuff if you can actually explain why you feel that way.
Right, like when you see a Deshaun Watson like spin out of a sack, get kicked in the face with a cleat, and then still throw a touchdown pass, I get why you can say like, okay, like he can move around, he can throw it, like he's slightly better than Lamar. But at the same time, like you got to look at some of the moments Lamar Jackson has had too. Like he's had just as much, if not, you know, a lot more, well, definitely a lot more regular season success than Deshaun Watson.
The Raiders touched Hollywood, dodging two defenders, jumping up, going, throwing it sidearm, Hollywood back in the end zone.
Right. Or
stuff like that.
Are you talking about the Raiders game or the Chiefs game? Because that happened multiple times.
I'm talking the Raiders, but there you go. You just brought up a whole different one. The jump pass.
Yeah, the jump pass.
There you go. That's two different, you know, it's just.
Like, there's multiple moments you can point to in Lamar Jackson's career where you can say, like, hey, this guy is special. Like really, really special. I mean, I'm not going to say that there's not, you know, multiple moments like that in Deshaun Watson's career, but I think Lamar has him beat. He has him outnumbered in, like, you know, really, like, all-star plays to me.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Let's go ahead and get into our last couple of topics for this episode of PRP.
Thank you.
We do.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Like the video. Leave a like on the video.
Can we get 50?
Come on. Can we get a 50 likes, please?
50
Come on. Let's like the video. Let's see. We have another super chat donation. This one coming in from Twisted Purple Bird. Says, Lamar got the intangibles. His throwing will mature. Thank you so much, Twisted Purple Bird. We appreciate you.
And let's hope that, I mean, he's been putting in work this offseason. No
Yeah.
doubt about it. Working with a quarterback coach, I mean, that has me excited, number one. I mean, I think that's going really just untalked about.
Yeah.
Like the amount of work he's putting in, I don't think we saw it in previous years. Do you think him sitting on the sideline, like maybe like was like, I'm like trying to be just like the best of the best? Because I know he was working out, but having the actual QB coach with him, that's a huge step.
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely made him a little bit more hungry,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I feel like that's natural too. Like, I mean, when you go down with how many games were left in the season when Lamar Jackson went down? It was like what, at least 6 games, right?
I think it was. I think we're 8-5.
Yeah,
No, wait, eight
Aiden,
and 8-4 maybe. Cause we,
I think there was
cause
around
we,
like
I
5 or 6 games
think
left.
there was 5 full games left because we ended on a 6 game losing streak, correct?
Yeah, yeah. So I
Or
mean,
4. I
something
think
like
it was
that.
because we lost to the
Some
Steelers.
Yeah.
Then yeah, it was 4 full games that he was out. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so I mean, like when you're out for that amount of time, knowing that your team is like fully dependent on you to like basically pull it out of your ass to win the football game, like that will definitely motivate you when you see like another guy in there. And all credit and respect goes to Tyler Huntley, but he's no Lamar Jackson at the end of the day,
I
you
there
know.
was
And
people. Mm, I'm not even gonna try to get to that point, but there was people trying to act like that they can both do it, and that just led to so much disrespect to Huntley.
it
Because
did, and he played. But see, my thing is like Tyler Huntley. He played very very well. He played very well, and if he would have kept playing well and like kept like elevating, then we would have had to have had a conversation. I
put us
felt
in a
like
position to win games against the Packers and the Rams.
exactly,
That's literally all
exactly.
you can really ask for. You're not asking for your backup to win. Like if you have a backup and you ask him to win those games, that's crazy. He put us in a
Yeah,
perfect position to win those games, and we just couldn't do it.
yeah. And see, like my original point was that I mean Lamar he sat out for all of those games, and like for anybody like that's gonna motivate you to like, hey, when I come back, like I'm gonna help this team. I'm gonna do everything I can to like be that guy. So I feel like as
Mhm.
soon as the offseason started, he's like, I'm gonna get the quarterback coach in here. I'm gonna get the trainer. I'm gonna do all this stuff. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And I would hope that, and I fully expect it that he keeps the same energy throughout the off season. Links up
Yep.
with the Mark Andrews, the J.K. Dobbins again if he's good off injury.
Rashad Bateman.
Bateman, all those guys. Like I think that will be very very telling on what he wants to do, where he wants to go, and also his maturity as well.
Yeah.
As a quarterback. I mean, I've always felt like Lamar Jackson was a very very mature quarterback. Like even coming out of college, like the guy, like I mean, he's got reporters telling him that he should, try out for a wide receiver, and he's just cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah.
He's just like, no, I
The,
mean, I'm a
the
quarterback, laughing about it,
disrespectful. That's
just taking disrespect and just laughing about it. Like I mean, he's very mature. He's been mature. Now when his throwing, I feel like is matured as well, but he's under a different type of microscope than everybody else is.
mhm.
A totally different type of microscope than
And
everybody else is
it's
under.
obvious. It's
Yeah,
the just I've come to the point I don't acknowledge it anymore because I just don't have the energy to deal with it. But it's like if you just say some stuff, it's like all right, I just know either you're trolling or you just don't watch it. That's
yeah,
what I just feel like if you just don't give into it, it's really stupid.
right.
It just shows how unintelligent you are as well. So
It does. It does. Absolutely. Let's go ahead and get into our next piece of news here.
we have one more super
Basically,
chat. One more super
oh, we do
chat.
have another super chat. This one coming from Kyle Reeves says, "At this point, put Simply in the slot. Might as well, right? Honestly, let's put Simply in the slot. Let's put me and DB. We go
Okay.
1-on-1. You know,
Oh boy.
whoever wins the
You've been
1-on-1.
working out. See, that's the thing. You've been working out. Listen, if there is a flag football game, that'll be fun. See, maybe.
We should definitely do that. I would love that.
Wait, I need to
That'd
hit
be a
up
lot
and
of
grave and tell him to run his back. That's what he needs to
Oh
do.
yeah, we
He
should
needs to
hit up
run his
Engraving
back.
and tell him to do that. Yeah, we'll definitely pull up. PRP, the Rain Gang will definitely be in full effect at that if it happens for sure. We'll be in contact with him about that. Let's go ahead and see about. Let me see. Sports Gaming YouTube in the house says, "Yo, what's up, Rain Gang? What's going on, Sports
Sports.
Gaming? Appreciate you for coming through. DLC says this is the most regular off season ever. I don't know. There's been some exciting stuff. A lot of exciting stuff. So
yeah, I woke up today. It's like Fournette's visiting with the Patriots, I believe. Like
Trent Brown.
It's every day it's something. Like with this off season.
It is. That's why we love the NFL. Let's go ahead and talk about Matt Ryan going to the Colts.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Matt
Ryan to the Colts. Yeah.
They're kind of turning into the Browns a little bit, just a little bit more successful. New quarterback every year starting in week 1. It's crazy. Like what is consistency of these teams? Like we as Ravens fans have been blessed. I think it's been like Flacco and Lamar since 2008 have been our week 1 starting quarterbacks. Them, they've just had a plethora. I think since like 16 or 17, it's been a different one every year. But 3rd round pick for him because of that big contract. I like it. Except he's coming to an already stacked AFC. But the best thing for the Colts is that if they're better than the Titans, they get in the playoffs. That's the best thing for them.
Honestly, I feel like the Colts, they have Matt Ryan on a deal where it's like it's not really killing them, salary cap wise this year, as far as I understand. And, that makes sense because Matt Ryan, he's another one of those kind of like Mitchell Trubisky, like a bridge quarterback. Matt Ryan is not a next generation quarterback. He's not the quarterback who is going to, against all odds, pull something out of his ass and win you a football game. He's just not that guy. He's a really good game manager. He can make all the throws in the book, yes. But when the waters get muddy, he is no Patrick Mahomes. He is no Deshaun Watson. He is no Kyler Murray. He's not going to make something out of nothing, is what I'm saying. And like for you as a Colts organization, franchise, whatever, to go ahead and just like put money and invest your season into this guy, it just really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It's like I feel like the objective, the goal every season, year in and year out, is to win a goddamn Super Bowl, right? So if you're not doing everything in your power to do that, then like what's the point? Like why are you drafting Matt Ryan? If you honestly think Matt Ryan is going to win you a Super Bowl, honestly, like raise your hand right now in the chat. Alex, you too. If you think Matt Ryan can win you a Super Bowl right now, raise your hand. I don't think that he can.
What he can do, I think, is take them to the playoffs. That's what I think he can.
But that's not enough. Aaron Rodgers took the Packers to the playoffs the past couple years.
You're right.
You see where that's got them.
If I'm the Colts, maybe they're looking at the Titans. This is the only thing I can think. This is like maybe they look at the Titans like, okay, they have this amazing running back. Get a quarterback who won't make mistakes. Let him just hand the ball off and maybe make the throw when he has to, and maybe we can make a magical run. That's the only thing. I'm trying to just maybe play devil's advocate right now. That's the only thing I can think that they're like, wow, maybe this is why we should trade for him.
Bro.
That's the only that's the only thing I'm thinking of. Maybe why they did it. That's
the only possibility. Yes, but the problem is there is so many juggernauts in the AFC now. Like you've got Deshaun Watson with the Browns. You've got Patrick Mahomes. You've got Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, like Russell Wilson now. All these guys in the AFC. I was gonna Zach Wilson,
Davis Mills. I mean, come on.
Davis Mills, exactly. But look, you got all these guys in the AFC now who are basically making it tougher than ever to get to the playoffs, to like get to the Super Bowl. Like, I don't see Matt Ryan going toe to toe with a lot of those guys, if not any of those guys.
And the best part for them is that they're just in a terrible division. They're in the they played the Texans and the Jaguars twice this year. Who knows what Jacksonville is going to be like this year? Actually, I have high hopes for them because I do like the Doug Peterson head coach thing. But it's like if maybe they just want to get to the playoffs. Maybe they're like, okay, we get to the playoffs and maybe start going up. That's like I'm just trying to think of things because it's like this year's draft class. People aren't saying it's amazing. Maybe next year. Maybe a quarterback like a Russell Wilson, maybe that's a really good requested trade and it goes to, I don't know, but it ain't.
I don't know. I just think if you're gonna have
they aren't making it at the Super Bowl, but we know that
exactly. And if you're just gonna have like a bridge quarterback like that, then like why don't you just wait 1 year? Because you're not going to win the Super Bowl with Matt Ryan this year. So just wait 1 more year. It's supposed to be a much better draft for quarterbacks next year. Get your guy and then go from there.
Tank.
I'm not even necessarily saying tank. Just like, don't spend unnecessary money on a Matt Ryan. Like, stick with what you got. You know what I mean? Like, or whatever it is.
They didn't have anything. They traded him.
If you're gonna be ass, you're gonna be ass. Is what I'm saying. Like,
they might continue being 2 packs of it.
Yeah, I mean, and if they are in a division where all you have to worry about is the Tennessee Titans, even still, that AFC is a gauntlet, an absolute gauntlet, and you will not get through it. I don't think with a Matt Ryan, because like I said, he will not go toe to toe with 90% of those quarterbacks that we mentioned. So
and just I'm just gonna think of this, like, Matt Ryan was with the Falcons. Like, after that Super Bowl, what happened? Like,
they
been
just
haunted.
dumpster fire.
Yeah. And it's crazy. I saw a stat, like, the NFC South now, Tom Brady is the longest tenured quarterback there.
Wow.
That's
wow. That is pretty crazy. That whole division right now is like,
congrats,
just upside
congrats
down.
Tampa.
Yeah.
Another NFC South ring championship for y'all.
I know. But yeah. Let's go ahead at this point. Let's go ahead and take some questions. We'll take a few questions from you guys.
Oh, I actually want to bring up something else before we go.
Sure.
Yeah. Did you hear the Urban Meyer stuff? Like, what came out about him?
I heard that he was like saying that he didn't know who Aaron Donald and Deebo Samuel were.
And Jamal Adams.
That was hilarious.
We were clowning this signing from, like, the day it happened. We clowned the Tim Tebow. We clowned the Urban Meyer. Like, bro, like, it was gonna fail from jump. The fact that how don't you know who Aaron Donald is?
So who's this 99 guy?
Yeah.
He's like wrecking the game. Can we get this guy suspended, transferred schools or something? Like, oh my God.
Urban was too drunk at the bar the night before, probably, Like, and the fact, like, I think DJ Chark came out and said something about it. Like, another unnamed player was like, he was just told somebody, like, when we cut you can't even get, like, a job that pays you $15 an hour. I'm like,
jeez,
screw you. I'm like, screw you. All right, like, what a piece of just rest in piss, bozo. Rest in piss.
I mean, it makes you wonder, really, like, honestly, like, how did he get so far along in the college game? And, like, I mean, I get it.
We can confidently say that there's an aspect of a coach that we know more about an aspect of the game that a coach did. Everybody in this chat can say that you know more than an NFL coach. Because I'm pretty sure everybody in this chat knows who Aaron Donald, Deebo Samuel, and Jamal Adams are.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's true. That is insane, though. Like, honestly, when you think about it, like, to not know who Aaron Donald is, to not know who, Deebo Samuel is a little bit more excusable, I guess. Not even really. But it's like Aaron Donald is like, come on, bro. How do you not know who Aaron Donald is? Like, he's played in the Super Bowl before.
Right. Deebo did. Deebo made plays against the Chiefs as well. I mean, not big plays. But
that's true,
plays,
too.
So it's crazy.
That's true, too. Yeah.
It's crazy.
I don't know. He should never be anywhere near an NFL team again. But no, that's that. Going ahead and getting into some questions from you guys here to kind of wrap up the show. I see one here from Raven Ron says, PRP, how confident are you that EDC will pay Lamar and actually sign or extend offensive productive players?
Confident. I'm gonna go. Let's go do this out of a 10 scale. Out of a 10, I'm gonna go like a 5.5.
That he pays Lamar.
We know that there's an offer on the table. Lamar hasn't accepted it. Will he even accept it? Genuinely, like, I'm still like, I just don't. It's like, what? 5.5. Just for the whole question, 5.5.
5.5. I mean, I agree. I mean, yeah, I agree there. I agree. I think mainly because I feel like even like Lamar Jackson at this point, he is not pressed. He is not rushed to sign any sort of deal. He wants the best deal possible for him. If it will be record breaking for the Ravens franchise, then so
Oh,
be it.
It will.
Oh yeah, you know what I mean. Like then so be it. Like it needs to happen. It needs to happen. Especially considering he's gonna hold out. Especially considering, you know, the stuff that just dropped, the video of David Ojabo getting injured at the combine, right? And people not even like tending to him, like, and people wonder why players hold out and like try to do what's best for themselves, you know. So I don't know. I think that Lamar, with that being said, he's confident in himself. He knows the talents, the abilities he has, and you know, I think it's about like a 6. I would say it's like a 6 or a 7 that EDC pays Lamar, because I think EDC also knows what he has too.
This has been the most important offseason for EDC, and it's like made some signings. It's like the Z Smith suck, but it's like we're still falling behind. It's like we're still making moves, but we're still like falling behind others. So, that's something to think about.
Definitely something else to think about. Let's see. Dre says, "How are you guys feeling about Zadarius Smith? LOL. Should the Ravens offer him a better deal?" No, I don't think so. I don't think we will.
And speaking of deals, Bradley Bozeman, by the way, people talking about agents. These agents are kind of hurting some. Like the agent hurt Bozeman. The Ravens had an extension out there for Bozeman. He was going to make more money than he was signed for with the Panthers. He turned that down in December. Z Smith turning down that. If he gets a deal from the Vikings, I want to know what it's looking like, because it's very possible he could be leaving money on the table. So.
Very possible. Very possible. I mean, and my thing is, I feel like if Zadarius Smith, if he wanted to be a Raven, he would.
Yep.
Simple as that.
And if he came back, he should have came back. Like, everybody was wrong. I can't think of one person who didn't like the move. That was one of the few moves where I saw everybody aligned on it, which was crazy.
Let's see. We do have another question. This one coming in from Leo Said. It says, "Will Bateman, Hollywood, and Mandrews go over 1,000 this season?" Not all three.
If it did happen, that means we're like, this is a whole different.
Oh yeah,
that means like
Super Bowl season, honestly, because if we have those 3 guys going over 1,000 yards receiving, knowing what I know we'll also be doing in the running game. Oh, listen,
that means Lamar threw a 4,500.
Yeah,
easily 45 to 5.
We're unstoppable.
5K.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't think all 3 of those guys will go.
2 of them.
I think 2. I think 2 is more realistic.
And honestly, I hope it's Bateman and Hollywood. I hope it is. I hope Mandrews like just making those plays, moving chains, but we aren't game planning strict like just around him. So
yeah. Let's see. D3 chimes in and says, "Good evening, fellas. Good evening. After this current free agency wave, do you think we will draft mostly defensive or offensive players this year?" That's a good question.
There's holes on both sides. I think let's just do that number 1.
Yeah.
On the defense, line, edge, and corner. On the offense,
line, edge, and corner. Okay.
On the offense, center,
yeah,
left tackle, and maybe a tight end 3.
A tight end 3. Honestly, before a tight end 3, I would rather us draft another tackle. To be completely honest,
I'm all for the depth. I'm so fine with that.
I think we should go.
I'm cool with drafting somebody who can play any position on the line, literally.
Hey, look, Makari, that's why you're paying the money.
And it's like mostly should be offense. Will it be? No,
it won't. But I mean, I think like you see teams like the Bengals doing, like put money into your offensive line to invest into your franchise quarterback. You have to do that if you want to see any sort of success. So that's what I think that the Ravens should do. One more question. Let's see. We got this one from our guy Dre. Says, "How would you guys feel if the Ravens made a trade for Danielle Hunter?"
I'd love it. I mean, the money is the money, but bro, I'd love it. It would definitely fill up a need. It's funny because that's who Owe was being compared to out of college, was Danielle Hunter, who had no sacks in that year of college. Like, I love it because then it's like, okay, cool. It's like, well, 14 becomes a lot easier now. And hell, if Ojabo fell to the second round, swoop him up too. Swoop him up.
Oh
Talk
man,
about
if
cheap
he,
labor.
yeah,
Have
yeah.
him start after Hunter's contract was up. Hell yeah, hell yeah.
I think he will. He will fall. He will fall. Ojabo, that is. He will to the second round. I don't know. That's
That's
kind of
why
a stretch.
I think
You
about
know
JOK too. Like with the heart condition, he
that
was
too.
fine this
Yeah,
year.
yeah,
Now, granted, that's this year, but
yeah. Right, right, right. Let's see. Actually, one more question. This one coming from our guy Black Daniel says, "At this moment, where do you guys think the Ravens rank with other AFC teams making huge changes slash loading up?"
I have one more after this. Then we're good. I see one more. Like,
Okay. I mean, after all these teams making changes, so you got the Chiefs doing what they did, getting a new safety. You got the Chargers just completely just.
getting
Oh, I don't
Gerald
want to say
Everett too.
completely. Well, that too.
Got
That too. Chargers doing what they did, like the Broncos retooling. Like, yes,
the
we get it.
Raiders.
There's Raiders. There's a lot of teams retooling, reloading. Where do the Ravens rank among those teams as it stands right now, today, March 21st,
Okay,
2022?
I think number one. I hate to say this. I think the Bengals are number one. I think they have filled in the needs that they needed. They needed to get that line, and they got it.
Yeah.
And they just freed up 11.4 million with cutting Trey Waynes. I think number two has to be one of the teams from the AFC West, either the Broncos getting Russell Wilson. We're not top three. I'll say that right
No,
now.
yeah. I won't say top three. I won't say top three. I will say top. I will say five, but we are number five.
Yeah,
We're
probably.
number five. Like when all things considered, because listen, guys, the only reason I say, and some people might say five is a stretch for the Ravens, but only reason why I say number five is because you got to think of what the Ravens actually went through last season, and
Yeah.
we haven't talked about this in a few weeks. All those injuries, like bro, if we had J.K. Dobbins, if we had Gus Edwards, if we had Marcus Peters, if we had Marlon Humphrey all season, Lamar Jackson, hell, all season,
Ronnie
you know what I
Stanley,
mean? Ronnie Stanley, it would
LJ
have been a
Ford, even
much
that.
different story. L.J. Ford, it'd have been a much different story. So, I mean, a healthy Ravens team, which is what is projected to go into the 2022 season, I think they are definitely top five in the AFC, even with all of these changes that have been made in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah. Why can we be in a worse division?
I know, right? I know. It's crazy. The AFC is just heating up, just in general right now. And after the draft, we'll really see, like, we'll see that even more. Honestly, I think the AFC is going to be even more powerful after the draft, especially considering where the picks fall. But we will monitor that.
Yeah. About to be draft
But
time.
yeah, what was the other one you had?
It was God Babies asking about Greg Roman because this is the first time we brought up Roman in like a couple of weeks, like actually talking. And he said, how do we feel about Greg Roman? I know he's gotten hate in the past. Has it changed? And it has not changed. Not one. No. I the re-signing of Ricard kind of says that he's going to be there. Obviously,
Yeah.
they have no plans of changing him, and that's still going to be run first.
Right.
So yeah. What's your feeling with him? Like I'm not. Do you
Me,
want him gone? Like maybe something different? Is that
I want him
is
gone. I want him gone.
I
I mean, if I'm being
is the
honest.
vote gonna come out? Are we gonna
No,
forge that
it's
new
not.
identity, son?
We're not gonna forge a new identity. There is no Volt, and I say that confidently because like there's no reason, and I say this all the time. There's no reason why, as a Ravens fan, I should be able to call exactly what the Ravens are gonna do on third and whatever down, whatever distance. Like, there's no reason. Like, it's so predictable. The offensive play calling is so elementary to me. Like, just because honestly, compared to the people, the coaches in the NFL, and I'll admit, I have an elementary understanding of football compared to NFL level coaches.
Not Urban
So
Meyer.
right, not Urban Meyer. But like with that being said, though, like I should not be able to intelligently guess exactly what the Ravens are going to do on any given play.
Yeah.
And if that's happening, I think that there needs to be a change at the offensive coordinator position. Because if I can guess what the Ravens are going to do, I know for damn sure the defensive coordinator on the other side of the field is going to be able to guess what the Ravens are going to do on offense as well. So, yeah, I think Roman needs to go. Like I said last year around this time, he's going to have like a 4-game leash, which I feel like is a short leash. But if the offense does not produce, then, changes have to be made. And if the Ravens don't make that change, then somebody's going to have to look themselves in the mirror.
And one final thing is that Darius Smith tweeted out, "Meet at the quarterback," and that's what the infamous purple people eaters from the Vikings used to say. Looking like he's going to go to the Vikings. So,
yeah,
get off with that.
Yep. One last super chat donation. This one coming from NFL Prod. Thank you so much, man. Says, I have not been here in a minute. My fault, man. Yeah, that's no problem. That's no problem, man. We appreciate you for coming through, supporting the channel, man. We know you are a Purple Rain pioneer as well. And another one coming from Twisted Purple Bird to end it off here says, a lot would be fixed if Harbs left, in my opinion. Thank you so much for your donation.
That's some hot thing to finish off with. Oh, boy.
Yeah, that is a hot take. I mean, because it kind of feels like the culture would be shifting, post Harbaugh,
I would just kill for a Steve Bisciotti interview. I really would.
Hey, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's going to be at least like 2 to 3 years of Ravens, failure before Harbaugh will actually be on the hot seat. I feel like his tenure was reset once we got Lamar Jackson and he started having some success. Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm glad it's a Coach of the Year trophy.
Yeah. With that being said, let's go ahead, everybody. Adhere to what my guy Don C says here. It says, hit that like button, everybody. Yes, absolutely. Before we get out of here, hit that like button. This has been episode 101 of the Purple Rain podcast.
One of our longest in a while.
It is. And the offseason, too. You guys know the offseason has a lot of gifts to bring. So make sure you tune into our channel. Stay locked in. Hit that subscribe button if you are new. Hit that like button if you are here and you have not already. And then one more thing, you can find us on Twitter or Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast. On Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast. Now on Twitter, you can find me at Sutton Def. On Instagram, you can also find me at Sutton Def as well. And Simply AS10, my guy over here, he said you can find him on Instagram at simplyas10.prod and on Twitter just at simplyas10. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for coming out to this episode of PRP. I'm gonna let my guy Alex take us out.
Thank you for coming through episode 101 of the Purple Rain Podcast. Let's hope we got some news on Thursday. Some good news. Some amazing news. But until then, stay positive. Test negative.
And most importantly, never, ever, ever forget to call God. This has been episode 101 of PRP. We're going to catch you guys in the next one.